economists took over business education, the principle of separation of ownership from control, and that all that matters is the maximization of shareholder value, increasing shareholder value, increasing shareholder wealth, even at the expense of ethics. And I think business schools have been thinking, since the crisis, that ethics, business ethics really have to be a core part of the curriculum. So certainly at Warwick Business School, there's many other business schools around the world, it's not really just a bolt-on. We don't just put an extra course on in business ethics. It's actually embedded in everything we do in the business school.
What I find really dispiriting and rather disturbing, really, is that at a dinner the other night, a WMA board dinner, I asked everybody...
The Wealth Managers Association.
Wealth Management Association and the directors there, who are leaders of their firms, and I said, would you recommend that your children have a career in the city? And they unanimously, immediately said no. And I thought that was really quite indicative about the way the city has changed. And the scandal is quite appalling. I mean, it is utterly appalling. But I do think there is also the danger that we've killed the entrepreneurial spirit. We've taken that away from the city.
My quarrel with the fines is that they're being paid by the shareholders for the sins of the people who were paid to look after the shareholders' interests. And I think that is a really glaring hole in the regulatory framework. It may make the regulators feel good to hit the banks with huge fines, but the people who commit the crime are not paying.
No good person would want to work in financial services today. I think if you're a nefarious, money-orientated political individual who's got sociopathic tendencies, this is the perfect industry for you.
I worked for part of Barclays Global Investors and then part of BlackRock, and we were managing a very large hedge fund, but the 95% of our clients were pension funds. And they weren't in it for a quick buck, basically, right? So they were actually in there for long-term value, long-term investment. So issues like this never really came to the fore in what I was doing, what we were doing. But certainly we did try and inculcate a sense of duty, especially during the crisis when bonuses were down, and how do you motivate people? And we did try to motivate people by saying, well, you're actually managing people's pension funds, you're managing people's livelihoods. And I used to try and get some of the fund managers to meet pension fund trustees and recent retirees to actually give them a connection with that money. It's not just figures on a screen, it actually is affecting people's lives.
It is a disgrace to me that HR people are not paid in relation to the performance of the company. Most HR people are just trying to avoid trouble, and they're not being rewarded properly. They're not on boards, they're not taken seriously, and they are just regarded as a cost center while the real people go out there and make it happen. And that's partially why we're in the situation we're in today.